Mohammed blasts police post critics. The problem can't be everything by Ronder Dowlat, senior journalist. Political analyst says society demanded decisive action on crime, warns opposition risks becoming obstructionists and noisemakers. Political analyst Dr. Shane Mohammed has delivered a stinging rebuke to critics of the government's joint police posts, declaring that Trinidad and Tobago cannot demand decisive action against crime and then attack authorities when that action finally comes. Mohammed said the controversy surrounding the rapidly established posts appears less rooted in public opposition to increased security and more in culture shock that government could actually move quickly to implement a crime-fighting measure. If crime is a problem, then it needs to be dealt with, Mohammed said. Dealing with crime requires innovativeness, collaboration, and decisions that are devoid of long-winded discussion and bureaucracy. His intervention comes amid political debate over the establishment of police posts at strategic locations, intended to increase law enforcement visibility and strengthen responsiveness in communities. Mohammed said Trinidad and Tobago has spent years complaining about inadequate police response, shortages of vehicles, and inconsistent police visibility. Now that a physical security presence is being established, he questioned why virtually every aspect of the initiative appears to be attracting criticism. The society has demanded decisive action. This is decisive action, Mohammed declared. He said the speed of implementation may itself be unsettling some critics. The construction of the police posts at the various locations, I believe, is more of a culture shock that something could have happened so quickly rather than an opposition by the population to the construction. Mohammed was particularly scathing about the opposition's handling of the issue, accusing it of failing to clearly identify what it believes is actually wrong with the initiative. He described the opposition as uncoordinated and inconsistent, and accused it of failing to conduct sufficient research to frame the questions that legitimate parliamentary scrutiny requires. The society will view them as obstructionists and noisemakers instead of critical thinkers, Mohammed warned. He argued that opposition scrutiny should be precise. If there are concerns about procurement, identify them. If the cost is the issue, interrogate the figures. If the strategy is flawed, explain why, and if there are problems with implementation, expose them. But simply attacking the initiative from every direction, he suggested, weakens legitimate scrutiny. What exactly is the problem? The strategy? The innovation? The costs? The procurement? The process? Mohammed asked. Whatever the problem, ask the right questions. Start there, because the problem can't be everything. Mohammed also argued that the posts could actually increase transparency and accountability because they provide citizens with a visible law enforcement presence that can be monitored. If a post that is supposed to be operational is repeatedly empty, he said, citizens would have every right to demand an explanation. At least the posts stand as a symbol of transparency and accountability, so if it becomes empty for any reason, we as a society can ask why. He said the joint nature of the initiative could also provide increased manpower, stronger coordination, better monitoring, improved response capabilities, and a more community-oriented approach to policing. Mohammed further reminded critics that officers deployed on the streets in full tactical gear are humans, not robots, arguing that strategically located posts could improve operational handovers, coordination, and working conditions for security personnel. For Mohammed, the central issue is therefore not whether the initiative should escape scrutiny, but whether that scrutiny is intelligent, researched, and constructive. With citizens demanding stronger action against crime, he warned that political opposition for opposition's sake could ultimately backfire. If critics cannot clearly articulate whether their objection is to the strategy, cost, procurement, location, or implementation, Mohammed said their interventions risk doing precisely what they accuse government of doing, flooding the system. Only this time, he said, it would be flooding it with noise.